Hello, my name is Tony and I'm a Life Scout at Troop 4056. My Eagle Scout project is to help promote wheelchair fencing programs within fencing clubs. I've been fencing with wheelchair fencers for about 5 years now, and I've noticed there's a severe lack of wheelchair fencing programs in the U.S. This video is part of a series that will give expertise and resources to help fencing club owners make their own wheelchair fencing program. As an able-bodied fencer, I've benefited greatly from fencing with wheelchair fencers, and I encourage everyone to support Paralympic and integrated programs within the community. Thank you again for supporting wheelchair fencing.
Hi, my name is Greta. I go to Utah Swords Academy in South Salt Lake. How I got into wheelchair fencing is a couple years ago. I had a wheelchair sports camp that was just people in wheelchairs sampling a bunch of different sports, and we tried fencing, and I really liked that, so I got into the Utah Swords Academy, and I've been doing that for about 2.5 years. So I think that coaches should consider wheelchair so that people that are disabled can have that opportunity, because a lot of the times disabled people feel kind of left out when other people able-bodied around them are playing sports, but they can't participate because they can't do the same thing. I think having wheelchair variations all across, just having some everywhere, so that a lot of disabled people can have somewhere where they can go and a sport is available that they can play. Trying something different and seeing how that works really helps them with what they're doing. Trying chair, it's kind of the same thing, but you're adding a little bit of different things to it, difficult things that they might not be used to. And once they get to use, it can make them better athletes with their able-bodied. So the body position is you start like this, in your side, so you're side by side, and you're you have to start with your arm out like this, or no, wait a minute, like this, out to the side towards them, and then so this is and you have to have your other hand out of the way over here, and you have to stay like this until they say fence, and then you move your arm around, your hand and arm, and you can lunge and go back like that. What's not allowable is you can't move your legs at all. So even just fidgeting around with your legs is not allowed. So you can only use the upper part of your body to move. You can go way back and as back as you want, and as forward as you want. But and you can move your arm. But that's it. So we have the frames, and there's a strap that goes under and hooks to the chair and then hooks to the frame, so it straps you down. And then there's little things that connect to the wheels on both sides that basically bolt you down to the frame, so you can't fall out of the chair. Well, your chair can't fall off the frame. And then you have the lap belt that keeps you from falling out of your chair. So when you're about to start, you have to salute the other fencer and the referee. If you don't do that, you can get a card. Also, when they say on guard, ready, and you go before they say fence, that's also a card. Yeah. And then when someone gets a point and they say halt, and you don't stop, that can get you a card. That's pretty much. And saluting and shaking hands at the end, if you don't do that, that can also give you a card. In wheelchair, instead of shaking hands, you just there's the little metal part that goes around the sword called the bell guard, and you just bump that with the other person's bell guard instead of shaking hands. So I only do foil and saber, so I only know those. So saber is everything on the upper body, so the mask, and then on your arms and just on your body right here. And then there's everything but the legs you can hit, and the chair. And then for the foil, it's you take out so the arms aren't a target zone anymore. So it's just your body right here and like a little bit of your shoulder, like right here. Yeah, so if you go way off and the blade gets stuck, the other person can just touch you, and then when the bout is over and they say halt, that you can get it out then. But like if you get it stuck in the middle of a bout, like while you're fencing, the referees won't stop and let you take it out. The other person can just hit you. I would say that it's like a really good experience to fence wheelchair because it gets you a lot faster and it improves your reflexes very much, like a lot, because you can't like move out of the way, like across the room. Because you're stuck down. So you have to learn to like be defensive and like improve your parries and improve your speed in order to do wheelchair.
So when Shelby first told me about wheelchair fencing, I'm like, we'd never heard of fencing before. And she had volunteered at a wheelchair sports camp, and that's where it was introduced. So when I picked her up one day, Bill, the club manager, was there, and he said, we really wanted to try this. I'm like, okay, we'll try it. So it was a couple weeks later before we actually got there and tried it. And she did it, and she did it a couple times, and she just was out of her comfort zone. And so then when we started going regularly and she started really doing it, she was quite reserved at first. And then when she started putting that mask on and pulling it down, it was like, oh, okay, I can stab these people and it's okay. So then it became fun. And then it actually helped build confidence in her because she was, a little shy and reserved when it came to that. It's helped her physically. She's done more exercise. She's worked more on core and things that she needs to work on for herself. And it's been fun to watch her grow because she's grown emotionally and physically while she's been doing this. And it's a lot of work for the moms because, we're there and we have to be there and we have to tie shoes and zip clothes, but it's worth it because it's a lot of fun. And then it's fun to watch the able-bodied fencers sit down with her because they are afraid, what do I do? Or, I don't want to hit her because I don't want to hurt her. And then they realize that she's not going to let up on them, so bring it. And we actually have a new foil coach who apologized when he touched and it hit, and she's like, really? It's okay. It's okay to do that. So it's been a lot of fun. We've met a lot of wonderful people. This whole group of the wheelchair fencers, they've just been amazing, and they've just accepted her and us, and it's been just a great experience. I think this is an awesome opportunity for anybody in a wheelchair that would need to do a sport, and I also think it's fantastic for able-bodied fencers because the able-bodied fencers sit down and they have a whole different view of how fencing is done, and they have to learn how to use their sword different, and they have to concentrate more because they can't run away. And at our club, the coach actually has her come in on nights that aren't wheelchair nights and sit there, and he has the able-bodied fencers rotate through because it helps them. They gain a whole new view of fencing. So it's been great.